Hello, I hope you're having a great day. Today we are going to do your math lesson for Tuesday, the 5th. All right, so we are going to be doing your guided practice worksheet 119. Okay, so I've assigned the A and the B side. So we'll start with the A side. If you don't already have this out, pause me and go get it. You'll also need a pencil, your ruler. Let me see if we need colors. Okay, it looks like you need orange. And that may be it, just an orange crayon. All right, but you can get all of them if you want. All right, so if you need to pause me, you need the worksheet, you need your pencil, eraser, and at least an orange crayon. All right, so pause me if you need to go get those. All right, so let's get started. For your name, it says draw a 6 centimeter line segment. So yesterday we worked with centimeters, so hopefully that made sense. So you want to line up your ruler with this dot and you're going to draw until you get to 6 centimeters. Make sure you're not on the inch side, okay? If drawing to the 6 takes you way over here, then you're on the inches side, okay? You want to flip it over so you're on the centimeter side. Shouldn't be super long. All right, and then you're going to have your date and day of the week. Like I said, today is Tuesday. And it would be May 5th, 2020. All right. Number 1 says write the number 108 on the place value chart. So we've got our place value chart there, okay? Just like in the classroom. So we're going to write the number 108. Okay, so you should have this. All right, then they would like for us to circle the digit that tells the number of ones. Okay, so the number of ones is going to be the ones place. Okay, so the ones place is where you always have a number, even if it's 0. Okay, because you start out with the numbers that are just in the ones place 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. Okay, and then once you get to 10, then you start moving in this direction. Okay, so the ones place all the way over where there would be a number no matter what. Okay, so we're going to circle that 8 because that tells us how many ones there are. There are 8 ones. All right, number 2. Amy had 6 dimes and 2 pennies. Her sister gave her 3 more dimes. Draw the coins. All right, so we're going to draw these coins. Amy, when she started out, she had 6 dimes and 2 pennies. I'm going to draw circles and put a D for dime and a P for penny on them, okay? Just to make it simple. So I'm going to start out, I'm going to draw the 6 dimes and 2 pennies. So you go ahead and do that too. All right. So I have 6 dimes, 2 pennies. All right, then they told us that her sister gave her 3 more dimes. So I'm going to draw the 3 more dimes. Made them kind of small for some reason. All right, so see, I drew my 3 dimes. I put them off to the side so I don't forget that those are the ones that her sister gave her. Okay. All right, so then underneath that, they ask us a question. How many dimes does Amy have now? Okay, so for a second, we're not going to think about those pennies at all. All right, so you're going to look at your dimes. So she started out with 6 dimes, and then her sister gave her 3 more. Okay, so you need to count your dimes. And hopefully you have 9 dimes. If not, look back at what you have here. Okay, first she had 6 dimes, then her sister gave her 3 more. Okay, so that's 9 dimes. 6 plus 3 is 9. All right, but then they ask us another question. How much money does she have altogether? Okay, so now we're going to think about those pennies again. All right, so if she has 9 dimes, okay, that 9 is going to be in your tens place. And if she has 2 pennies, there's going to be a 2 in your ones place. Okay, so if you remember when we did the dimes and the pennies, when we added them in the rows, same idea. Okay, so if you have 9 dimes, you have a 9 in your tens place. 2 pennies, you're going to have a 2 in your ones place. Okay, so if you need to go through and count the dimes, count by tens, do that. Okay, if you're able to think of it just as tens place and ones place, that's fabulous also. Okay, so look at it. How much money does she have? And give you guys a chance to try. All right, so hopefully you got 92 cents. Okay, if you have 9 dimes, the 9 is in your tens place. Okay, for 90. And you have 2 pennies, so here's your ones place. I've got a 2. So 92. Don't forget, without the cent sign, you're not saying 92 cents. It could be 92 anything. It could be 92 balloons, 92 dogs, whatever. All right, number 3. Circle all the shapes divided into fourths using an orange crayon. Okay, so you need your orange crayon and you need to circle everything that's divided into fourths. Okay, if it's divided into fourths, there should be how many sections? 4. Okay, fourths. Remember the fraction 1/4. If there's a 4 on the bottom, that means there's 4 total sections. Okay, and then the top number is how many of them. So if you have 4 sections, 1/4 would be one of those. 2/4 would be 2 of them. 3/4 and 4/4 would be everything. Okay, so the ones that have been divided into fourths. Okay, so look in that square and circle them. I'll give you guys a chance to do it. Everybody should be trying. So you should have used your orange crayon to circle the shapes that are divided into fourths. Okay? All right, so those are the 3 that are divided into fourths. All right, so let's look at these. The first one I circled has 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. All right, so I circled it. The one next to it has 1, 2, 3, not fourths. 1, 2, that's halves, remember? Down here, 1, 2, up, another one divided in half. 1, 2, 3, 4, I circled, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, the section should be about the same size. When we practiced this, we did a lot of, folding a paper in half so that we could get equal sections. Then we would fold those halves again to get our fourths, and so on. All right, so you should have circled those 3 because those are the ones that are divided into fourths. They ask us to do one more thing now. They want us to color 1/4 of each circled shape orange. Okay, so we circled the ones that are divided into fourths. Now they want us to use that orange crayon to fill in one of the fourths for each shape. Okay, so do that. So you'll have 1/4 colored orange. Okay. So hopefully I'm not going too fast. If I am, you can pause me. All right. So see, I took all those shapes that are divided into fourths and I colored just one of the fourths. Okay. All right. Number 4. Measure these line segments using centimeters. Okay, so we're doing the centimeter. That's the smaller side of your ruler. Okay, hopefully you watched my video yesterday. Gave you a little bit more information about doing that. All right, so go ahead, take your ruler, measure those, see what you get. Okay. So you measure that first line segment, make sure that you're lining it up with where the ruler starts its measurements. I told you some rulers, that's the very edge of the ruler. Some rulers, there's a line a little bit in. You're gonna start from there if your ruler has that. All right, so that first line segment, hopefully you got 6 centimeters. If not, hold your ruler up by that line, have a look at it, see what might have gone wrong, okay? All right, so now measure that second one, your second line. See how many centimeters that is. All right, so hopefully you got 11 centimeters for that next line. If not, try to line up the ruler. Make sure that you're lining it up where the measurement starts. Okay, make sure you're on the centimeter side. If you're on the inches side, you're getting very, very different answers. Okay. All right, number 5. Draw lines to show how to divide the squares into fourths in 2 different ways. Okay, so dividing them into fourths. We did this in class a bunch, and you've got this up here to kind of help you if you don't remember. All right, so that first square, I'm going to divide it into fourths in the most basic way. Okay, just going to draw a T shape so that I get the 4 equal spaces. Okay, on this one, I think I'll mix it up with some diagonals. So I'm going to do more of an X. Okay, so see there, my line is wiggly, but roughly I have 4 equal triangular shapes in there. All right, now they want us to color 2/4 of each square. All right, so we divided it into fourths. Now they want us to color 2/4. Okay, so do that. 2/4 of each one of the squares. All right. So hopefully you got something in that neighborhood. Do you guys notice anything interesting about 2/4? 2/4 is 1/2. See, it's half of the square. You guys will learn more about that when you get a little bit higher up in the grades. They'll do more fraction things, but just a fun little thing that's easy to see right there. 2/4 and 1/2 are the same thing. All right. You can impress the teacher later on with that information that you have in your brain. All right, number 6. Okay, so we're going to be adding numbers to 10 on that first row. Okay, now don't be intimidated because both numbers have 2 digits in them. You can do this. If you picture it like dimes and pennies, we did a lot of adding up 2-digit numbers with the dimes and pennies. Okay, when we did our class store, and you would buy something for 15 cents and 24 cents or whatever. That was using 2-digit numbers. So You have done this before. Don't be intimidated by it. Okay? If you look at this first one, it's 14 and 10. I'm going to draw next to it what it looked like when we did the dimes and pennies. You do not need to draw this on your worksheet. I am just doing this so that you guys can see how this is the same thing. Okay. All right. So hopefully you can see what I've done there. All right, so we have our tens place and our ones place. Okay. All right, so if we were adding dimes and pennies, we would start with the pennies. If you have 4 pennies and 0 pennies, how many do you have? Hopefully you said 4. Okay. And if you have 1 in your tens place and 1 in your tens place, 1 plus 1 is? I do so hope you said 2. All right. So see what I did there? I added 14 and 10, and I did it like it was dimes and pennies. Okay. So you have done this before. All right. We also did this on another worksheet, and I pointed out to you within the problem, just like over here, you have your ones and your tens, your pennies and dimes. So you can look at this problem this way too. So you start 0 plus 4, and then 1 plus 1. Okay? Anytime you add 10 to a number, if you remember also, you're just going to change that ones place by 1. Okay, so we've done this a couple of ways. So the answer to that first one is 24. Okay? So remember we learned in class, if you add 10 to a number, you just add 1 to that number in the tens place. All right, so the next one, we have 62 plus 10. So let's try to do that one without writing it all out, okay? So if I'm going to add 10 to 62, I'm just changing my tens place by one number. So 6 plus 1 I hope you said 7. Okay. And then we're just going to leave that ones place alone. So we took our 62 and we just increased the number in the tens place by one number. Okay. So I had 62. I added 1 to my tens place, made it a 7. So now it's 72. All right. Then we have 36 plus 10. All right, so you can work that out like it's dimes and pennies. You can also just add 1 to that tens place number. However it makes the most sense in your mind is the right way, okay? All right, so try to do that one. I'll give you a second to try to think about it. And hopefully you got 46, okay? So your tens place is increasing by 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. And then your ones place, you've got a 0 over here and a 6. So nothing's going to happen to your ones place. It's going to stay a 6. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. Okay. All right, so now we've got our 3-digit number problems down here. Okay, we've done these a few times since we've been out of school, so hopefully you guys are hanging with me and you understand. Okay, all right, so that first one we have 2 plus 5 plus 8. All right, so first thing we want to do is we want to look at it, see if we recognize anything from our math facts. I right away see a sum of 10. I hope you did too, because 2 plus 8 is 10. Okay, so if I put my 2 and my 8 together, I can't forget my 5. All right, so 2 plus 8 is 10. So now I have 10 plus 5, because the 5 is still there. Okay, now anytime you add a number smaller than 10 to 10, you just replace that 0. Okay, so your answer is, hopefully you said 15. 2 plus 5 plus 8 equals 15. 8 plus 2 equals 10, and 10 plus 5 equals 15. Now, if you work that out some other way and it makes sense to you, that's the right way to do it, okay? All right, so next we have 4 plus 3 plus 7. All right, so I'm going to look at that. I'm going to try to say, do I recognize anything from my math facts? Does anything jump right out at me? And I see it again. I see another sum of 10. Okay, do you guys know what the sum of 10 is? Hopefully, you said 3 plus 7. So remember, 3 plus 7 is 10. All right, so if I add 3 and 7 together to get 10, I still have a 4 that I have not yet used. So now I have 4 plus 10. Okay, you see what I did there? 3 plus 7 equals 10. And so I just bring that 4 down because I'm not finished with it. All right, and 4 plus 10. I hope you're all comfortable at this point, knowing that 4 plus 10 is 14. All right, so I hope that that was not too difficult. If you want to flip over your paper, I will read number 2 for you, and then you guys can do the rest of the paper on your own, okay? As you're doing it on your own, you need to look through and try to read those directions the best you can, because in 2nd grade, you guys are going to need to be able to read the directions, so this is good practice. If you're not sure, or you're just, not feeling super confident that you can read it good, try and then ask a grown-up to check yourself to see if you got it right. Okay? All right. So, but I'll read number 2 since it's a word problem. That's hard to try to read it and think about it. All right. All right. So number 2. Alex had 7 dimes and 3 pennies. He gave his brother 2 dimes. Draw the coins. All right. So I will do that one with you. I'm going to start out with what Alex already has. He has 7 dimes and he has 3 pennies. And I think this time I'm going to put their value on them. So you need 7 dimes and 3 pennies. So I'm going to put a 10 on my dimes and a 1 on my pennies, just to switch it up. All right. So I got 7 dimes and 3 pennies. Okay. All right. Now things get a little bit different. He gave his brother 2 dimes. Okay. He gave his brother 2 dimes. So instead of being some more, it's going to be someone away because he gave some of them to his brother. So I'm going to cross out 2. All right. Those are the 2 that he gave to his brother. Okay. All right. So how many dimes does Alex have now? So he had 7 dimes. He gave 2 of them to his brother. So don't worry about the pennies right now. Just look at those dimes. Okay. So he had 7. He gave 2 away. How many does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So 5 dimes are left. All right. Then they ask us how much money does he have altogether. So if he has 5 dimes now and he has 3 pennies, how much money is that? You can look at it a couple of ways. You can count by tens and then by ones after you get to the pennies, or you can look at it like your dimes are your tens place, your pennies are your ones place. Okay. Either way, hopefully you got 53 cents. Remember, without the cent sign, it's just a number. Could be counting anything. So make sure you put that cent sign in there. So 53 cents. All right, so I'm going to let you guys finish up that side of the worksheet, reading the directions on your own for practice. I hope you guys are doing great, and I hope to see you all soon. All right, bye.